It's really great to be here. One of the first smiling groups I met with when I first ran back in 2000 was the Democratic Women's Club. They were very supportive and have continued to be the whole time. I am very glad to be here. It was not my intent to be here, and sad that it wasn't my intent to be here. But when I saw what was happening in the school district, and we've been through all that, except I want to remind you of some things. When I left the school district, 85% of the students were A and B, no D and F schools, 85% of the schools. Today, 67% are A and B, 8 D and 1 F. When I left the district, and this is the level playing field, the district was rated 17th among all the districts in the state, and now they're rated 38th. In the meantime, we've had an accreditation renewal, accreditation not awarded based on 5 deficiencies, 3 of which relate to how the board operates, using data, working with each other, and the culture that's developed. On the capital side, the district is growing by 5 to 7, or by 2,000. It was 5 to 7,000 students when I was on the board, 2,000 students a year, and the district is 4 to 7 schools behind meeting that growth need. And what happens is when you put students in portables, you pay twice for them. You pay for the portable to set up, and in the portable to be taken down, and then you pay for a school building to be built, and you move them into a school building. The district is in trouble. And as I think back to my experience on the board, because things were going well, what is the difference now? And actually, I could see it when I first left the district. I was 2 years on the board when there was a turnover of board members. And the turnover resulted in a 3-person alliance. And that 3-person alliance began to make decisions that were not productive for the school board. They hired a superintendent that had been a failure otherwise, a superintendent that I did not recommend. That superintendent brought in 2 assistant superintendents who were out of work at that time because they had been fired, and everything began to go downhill. I'm here today because it starts at the top. It starts with knowledgeable people, educated people, people who have experience in business and how to run an organization, and probably most importantly, people that know how to work on a team. The last 2 years that I was on the board, it was a 3-2 vote. And then I've watched it over the last 4 years where board members are sparring. The district will never succeed, and so goes the schools, so goes everything else in the community. The district will not succeed until we have now, not 5, but 7 board members who like each other, who respect each other, who want to make the best decisions, who use data, not just by the seat of your pants say, let's get rid of testing, but who use data. In fact, the accreditation team tagged the board as being data rich and analysis poor. Things have to change, and they have to change dramatically. Now, this was not an easy decision for me. I was very happy in my retirement life, but I have put an effort out to bring together the people and am supporting people that I feel will be able to work as a team. You know, it's interesting when you're campaigning, the skills and qualities that get you elected almost become counterproductive when you're elected to a board. Because when you're campaigning, you want to say, I know best, I can do this, about me. You have to have a big ego. When you're elected to a board, you have to take off that hat and put on the hat that says, I have 5, 7 other people among us. We can make the best decisions possible when we all bring our best to the table. We all like each other. We all respect each other. That's such an important quality, especially now moving to 7 members. So I'm getting the high sign that I'm done. I thought I had maybe 20 more minutes. But Anyway, I'll take the one or two questions, and I appreciate everything that you do. Let's get the district back on track with good people who know what they're doing.
Do I have your permission to share your answer to the transportation question in the forum?
Yes.
Thursday night, the League of Women Voters did a school board forum.
Here, wait a minute.
The League of Women Voters did a school board forum on Thursday night, and one of the questions had to do with the cost of transportation. Most of the other candidates on the dais gave their solution to how to cut the transportation budget. Jane's answer was diversity costs money, and it's an investment that's well worth it.
Is that it?
No, you got one more question.
All right, good.
I grew up in Lee County, and now my brother is in middle school, and it's like, I was in, like, every year of high school, I had to take out one of my electives because I was in the remedial reading class because of Florida Comprehensive, you know, all
Exactly.
that standardized test stuff, and it's even worse now, and as far as like stress the test, and it's like, what are the other options? Like, there's no other way of figuring out how the teachers are actually teaching the students what they want to teach, instead of going to what the state is telling them to do, or the country, or whatever. You know, like, what's the alternative?
It all goes back to the high stakes testing that
Right.
comes from our Republican legislature that wants to privatize schools. So they want schools to look bad. Students are not getting the cross-section they should,
Right.
and yada, yada down the line. Yeah, right, there you go. Okay, one over here.
Like a lot of people in this room, I'm very upset about how the school board has handled the sex scandal at South Fort Myers High School. How do you feel about it? What suggestions do you have for the future?
Well, I think that was poorly handled. The communication that went out to the parents, the communication that went out to the public was not shared in a way that people understood. And then we heard about some of the students that were involved, that were in testing, or that were in sports over the weekend. I mean, you have to be consistent. You have to have your rules, you have to have your discipline code, and you have to stick by it, and you have to respect the privacy of the students involved, but yet the discipline has to meet the problem. And it's hard to talk about that case because it is confidential, and many things are confidential. But somebody has to be out front first and make sure they contact the media, media not contacting them. We've had an incident, here's what we know about it. And I think the sheriff's department has gotten pretty good about doing that. When there is a situation, they come right out front first. And not everything can be shared, but when you say that, people understand it.
Okay.